Criminal Minds is an American police procedural crime television show. It follows the behavioural analysis unit of the FBI as they solve crimes all over the country. In order for them to solve the cases, they analyse the perpetrator of the crimes. The team look at how and why the person commits a crime. As a TV show, the storylines can extend through the series. This occurs in some cases when a suspect isn't caught straight away and the team return to the case. This happened in the case of Frank Breitkopf, the Reaper, also known as George Foyer, and the Fisher King. In Season 9 this occurs again with the Replicator, who recurs throughout the season. In the storyline, there are minor references to him throughout the series which builds towards eventual character death. The convention of using a recurrent villain is then carried on in the 11th series, as there is a focus upon a mysterious group called the Dirty Dozen. As a TV show, this is a useful way to keep the audience engaged throughout a season. It is a technique used in the film industry to retain the attention of the audience, even in less exciting parts of the film, by making them wait for a conclusion to a plotline. Cases in the series can vary between serial killers, kidnappings and terrorism, which can make each episode unpredictable and in return retain viewership. There is a focus on the psychology of the killer, and the language of the team, victimology, sexual sadists, can be complicated for the audience, but this provides a sense of realism, as they are words which are expected to be used in these sorts of situations. Camera shots in Criminal Minds are used to create mystery, tension and fear of the antagonists, who are often murderous psychopaths. These pictures contrast with the camera shots used to portray the team, which are more often less vilifying and used in order to make the team look heroic and friendly towards the audience. They also use long shots to establish scenes. For example, if they are in a rural location, a long shot is used to establish the remoteness of the setting. In this clip, there is a high-angle shot of the perpetrator that Agent Hotchner shot to portray the character as weak. There is then a high-angle shot of Hotch standing over him. This shot is not only to portray him as the dominant character within this scene, but in the wider narrative of the show is a symbol of this character having the moral high ground. This scene from the Season 7 finale is an example of multiple camera shots being used in conjunction with alternative editing techniques. During the scene, the shot moves repeatedly to different angles and distances from the characters in order to portray the sense of urgency and danger in the scene. Partway through, there is a moment where the scene is slowed down so the audience can focus on the way Agent Drove is able to unload the gun. The use of this editing technique emphasises the way the character of JJ is portrayed throughout the running of the show as a very capable and talented agent. In both of these scenes from the show, camera work, editing, sound and mise-en-scène are all used to emphasise the danger of the scene and build the tension for the audience as they worry about the characters they have grown to empathise throughout the series.
Where can we find Michael Bridges?
They use music in the series in order to build the tension with this scene. Music is often non-diegetic and subtle in the background of the scenes, especially interrogation scenes, and spikes in volume occur to draw the audience's attention to an important aspect of the scene. Scene from the show. The music is very quiet and allows for the dialogue between characters to be distinctive. This is important for the show as the speech between characters is important to each particular storyline and in portraying character emotions. The diegetic dialogue is an important element in this programme as they work closely as a team and continuously communicate with each other.
The one from the funeral.
Music is used differently in chase scenes when there is a fast tempo and is more intense in order to emphasise danger and create audience tension. For example, in this scene from Season 4, Episode 11, the music is fast-paced to build the tension of the dangerous situation. As the scene cuts between two locations, the music must be applicable to both. The intensity of the music complements both the chase scene and the intensity of the search of the house. For instance, a raid that could happen at both the suspect's home and work, which means that teams split up, but the episode follows them both, doubling the attention for the audience. At the end of this clip, the sound is isolated. The music takes over as the diegetic sound is removed, and this draws the audience's focus to the action on screen, and allows them to focus on the visual rather than the audio aspects of the scene.
Stop and listen to me! Listen to me! Nobody is in that car! Nobody. Your family's gone, Norman! No, they're in there! They're gone, Norman! Look inside. Look in the car. Look in the car. They were never there.
Each episode of the programme begins and ends with a quote which can reflect the themes of the episode.
Just as the constant increase of entropy is the basic law of the universe, so it is the basic law of life to struggle against entropy. Vaclav Havel.
The quote at the beginning of an episode can be quite foreboding as to what will happen in the duration, whereas the end quote is often more reflective as to events which have taken place and can bring closure to an episode. The programme deals with issues of morality and mental health, and as a police procedural show, there is also a focus on the police and the issues they face. Sub-themes that can be seen in certain storylines, such as the American political power in law enforcement. There may also be aspects of race, wealth and ethnicity in the show. This crime television show has inspired my short film, as there is a focus on the impact of events within the show on the human psyche, something which I would like to develop in my own production. The camera shots used in the series are varied, and the impact of the use of different shots seems to have been thoroughly thought about. I would also like to emulate the relationship between the non-diegetic music used in the show and the visual action, as they are used together in a way that invokes certain emotions within the audience.